Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the series Mand Plays Intel Game and Talks About X. The topic for today's video is I wanted to talk about the fact that I have had social media deleted, social media as in Instagram and TikTok, um, deleted for about a year now. And I wanted to talk about the effects of that because if I'm being completely honest, it's not as big of an effect as you would think. So, um, just as a like history of myself, I didn't have any social media until high school aside from Reddit. Reddit was my first social media that I got in I think 8th grade. Um, because I never liked the idea of social media or posting pictures of myself. Hey guys, but I I never liked the idea of posting myself. I always liked the idea of either being behind the camera if anything was posted, which is why I do like YouTube and why I didn't post myself at all until very recently on YouTube. Um, but I was like, well, I don't need Instagram or Snapchat. I didn't understand what Snapchat was. I don't need Instagram or Snapchat or what was then Musically because I don't want to post pictures or videos of myself and I don't really care about what other people are doing. So I'm not gonna so I never got that social media just honestly out of my own um free will. Like it wasn't like my parents didn't let me or anything. I just didn't want to. I got Reddit because I was like, this isn't social media. It's something different. It's something more edgy. Because I was like 14. Um, but I didn't have Snapchat until my freshman year, and that was just because I needed it to like work on group projects with people. Um, because um, people didn't like people don't really give out like phone numbers anymore. That's kind of outdated. So I would be assigned to work on a group project with someone and they would just be like, "Oh, what's your Snap?" And I would just be like, "I don't have Snapchat." And it got really old really quick, so I ended up just downloading it because I was like, I think I should. I think this is like just a net it's not evil. It's just a messaging app. And then I got Instagram pretty soon after because I don't know, it felt like I think that was sort of the same thing as people would say like check the Instagram for updates on school stuff and I was like, I don't have Instagram, but nothing was forbidding me from getting it, so I just downloaded it. And I didn't have TikTok. I was like way late to the TikTok train because I just thought of it as a dancing app. Like I didn't get TikTok until COVID, so it was 2020. It was also my freshman year. Like I did definitely sit and rot on TikTok during COVID, um, but I really avoided getting it before that just because I thought of it as a dancing app. So I had a very condescending attitude towards social media for a really long time. Eventually caved in and got it because of not even like peer pressure, just kind of a social need to have it. And then in the last year, well, okay. And then after that, it got really bad and I was on social media all of the time. Um, because they designed the apps to be addictive and, you know, oh no, my brain they know exactly how my brain works and my brain knows the way that they know my brain works, so I got addicted to the thing that was designed to be addictive. That's crazy. Who would have thought? I always just kind of thought I was better than it, but that's not really how this kind of thing works. So I started using it way too much. I started putting screen time limits on myself and then I just didn't follow them because again, nothing's actually holding me to it. It was just something I was imposing on myself and I could change at any point. So when the screen time limit popped up, I would just say, give me 15 more minutes or ignore limit for the day. Because that's how Apple does it, is if you have a screen time limit, in theory, there's like a password that a parent or whatever could set. But since this was entirely self imposed, I just I mean, I didn't set a password because I would have known the password. It wouldn't have made a difference either way. If I just made it a random password and, like, I was actually in the middle of something and it was like, again, because I can limit myself on social media, but, like, the reason that I downloaded Instagram was, I think, just because people were posting school happenings on there. And I genuinely just didn't know when certain school events were happening because it got to the point where people didn't really like. It got to the point where like the school hardly put anything out and just sort of expected the word of mouth to carry it, and the way that it was carried was over social media. So I wouldn't know like, okay, what like are we doing um class color day, stuff like that, like where do I remember there was like a homecoming thing, like, can I wear this dress? Because um, people posted the dresses they were wearing, and you didn't, like, if they posted the dress, they didn't want to match with anyone. So, like, I don't know. It's just like a social thing that I kind of need to, like, at a certain point, you do need to have it. Um, so I didn't want to put, like, a random password on it because on the off chance that I was actually doing something important, then I wouldn't be able to bypass it. And I'm sure I could have come up with some creative workaround, but at that point I was just like, I don't care enough. So, and I do kind of feel like I'm making excuses for myself, but that was what I was thinking and how I was like, I didn't want to put a random password because what if I did actually need it? What if I was doing something important on TikTok, of course. Um, so I don't know. After a couple of years, it just really started to like take a toll on my mental health. Um, and I think it did that for everyone because that's just again TikTok is it's built to be addictive. It's really good at it. The algorithm is really good. Apparently, it's gotten worse since I got off, but at least when I was on it, really good at like figuring out what kind of mood you're in and just feeding you videos based on that mood. But I would get so bad at doom scrolling. Like I would just find like the TikTok slideshows. I feel like that's kind of outdated at this point because I think they're all memes now. But um again, when I was on TikTok, there were just like doomer slideshows with like upsetting music and like nothing is ever going to get better. You're stuck here forever. Corporate 9 to 5 is all there is to life, etc., etc. And it made me miserable, but there is a part of me that likes the doom, and apparently I'm not as alone as I thought in that, which is, I mean, like a moment of solidarity, I guess. Is like because when I downloaded Reddit, um, a lot of the subreddits that I joined were like the end is nigh, because you know, thing about me if you know me in real life. Um, so I have or if you have played any game with me, my username is Survival Backpack. I have a survival backpack because I've been convinced since like 6th grade that the world is about to end for some reason. Um, and so, um, the subreddits that I joined when I first got any form of social media was just, how do you guys think the world is gonna end? Am I crazy for this? Yes? No? I still don't really know. But like, I had people, or I specifically joined subreddits so that I would be presented with people that were convinced that the world is gonna end, and how they were preparing for it and what I should do to prepare for it, um, and things like that. Because there's something very alluring about like the concept of everything falling apart. I think it's because I don't see a lot of promise in like the way that the world is right now. So like part of me just fantasizes in it falling apart. Um, and so when that became super popular on TikTok, was just like really heavy doom scrolling and like terribly depressing slideshows. That was something that I'm used to consuming. Um, but it did make me feel a lot less alone, like in the back of my mind, even though like at the front of my mind it's okay, these are still depressing truths about the world and these are unchangeable things. There is still a moment of solidarity with, okay, these things are getting like millions of likes though. I'm not the only person that feels this way, because I felt like it was only me for a really long time. um anyway, so that was what really like drew me into it. Was not like I've never like um really had like body image issues from Instagram, because that's just not the way that I use it. um and like I don't know, like I don't experience all of the um bad effects of social media, because again, I don't really post on like, again, conventional social media like I post on here, but I post assuming that actually zero people are going to watch it. I most of the time just make my things unlisted so that it doesn't pop up in anyone's feeds, and so you have to specifically go through my profile to find them, because I don't really want people watching my stuff, but I do still want it to be out there in case I want to reference it, date it, like things like that. So, my experience with social media wasn't exactly a conventional one. Oh, that's not how I meant to build it. Oh well. Just because, again, like but I still got like addicted to it nonetheless, and that's, I think, the common factor between everyone is, regardless of how you use or consume the social media, the addiction is still there, because the entire like the entire purpose of the website is to keep you on the website. So, or the app, whatever. Like the entire purpose of Instagram is to keep you on Instagram. TikTok is to keep you on TikTok. And so, regardless of how you use the app, if you use the app, you're most likely addicted to it, because that's how the app is built, and if you use it, you're going to experience those effects. So, um, um, anyway, see, at a certain point, I was like, okay, this isn't good for my mental health, because every time I need to, like, I get home and I just make myself miserable. Like, I get home from school, I'm tired, but I go on TikTok anyway, and then I just make myself miserable because I'm scrolling through these TikTok slideshows of just the most horrible, depressing facts of the society that we live in and whatever. So, like, at a certain point, I was like, I need to stop. And after the screen time limits didn't work, um, I was like, I think I just need to delete this. So the worst one was TikTok, because again, Instagram wasn't really my thing. Like, I mostly had Instagram for like, sometimes I would look at memes, but Instagram memes aren't really that good. Um, and then like, I would like DM people on Instagram, because sharing your Instagram with someone, like your Instagram username with someone, or like following someone on Instagram, isn't as like that's what you do instead of like giving someone your phone number. Um, so I like, Instagram wasn't as big of a like, I didn't use it very much. I was just always on TikTok. So I deleted TikTok, but then immediately needed the short form content that that I was used to TikTok always giving me. So I moved over to Instagram Reels, which were like TikTok, but the algorithm was worse and they didn't have as many depressing slideshows, but it still killed time, and it still got like, the Family Guy Subway Surfers type stuff. So like, it gave me the, I can't look at that guy. Um, dude, come on. Are you serious? Um, it gave me the like short form content, whatever, serotonin boost. I could have killed that guy. Oh well. I've been having really good games. I started like I specifically tried to think up a topic to talk about because I just got 2 S+ games in a row, and I was like, oh, I want to record myself having some good games. Oh well, I guess. Probably just because I'm distracted because I'm talking about this, but um, where was I? But so yeah, I just moved to Instagram Reels because um, even though it wasn't giving me the same like doom scrolling content, it was still giving me the short form content and like just quick little dopamine, serotonin. I don't remember which one. Boosts to like I don't know because you have I think it's dopamine. You get the like dopamine addiction of you know constantly getting rewarded every time you scroll. You scroll once a minute. You consume these very short minute long videos and they're like either funny or make you feel a strong emotion or they like they give you something and you get used to that, and then when you just have to sit without that you get really bored really quickly. So uh even though it wasn't the type of content I was specifically looking for, um I still consumed it because it was still short form content. um and then after a period of time I think I need to delete Instagram because this isn't really helping anything. It's I guess not making me feel as bad because like it's not um like purely depressing content, but it's still I'm sitting here for hours on end staring at my phone and I'm not enjoying it. So it's still bad. So then I deleted Instagram and then I started going on YouTube Shorts. There was a period of time I had to delete YouTube from my phone because I kept going on YouTube Shorts because I kept needing that short form content, and YouTube Shorts was then the only thing that I could like have. I ended up re-downloading YouTube to my phone because YouTube is something that I just use for like, hey, I don't know how to do my schoolwork. I'm going to look it up on YouTube, like a video of someone telling me how to do it. Or like I don't know how to like do this thing with my computer. I'm going to ask YouTube how to do it. Cuz I could look it up on Google, but having someone walk me through on a YouTube video is usually more helpful for me. So I couldn't really like justify having YouTube deleted. But there was a period of time where I said I'm only going to use it on my computer. I'm not going to use it on my phone. And it worked for a while. I ended up settling for Pinterest, uh, which did not have any videos. Um, I never deleted Pinterest because there are still like times where like I really don't want to just sit and stare at a wall. Like I need something, but ideally it just wouldn't be all that enticing, so I'm not sitting for hours on end scrolling. So Pinterest was that happy medium of like, I was able to kill time when I really needed to, but I'm not on Pinterest 24/7. I don't think anyone could really be on Pinterest 24/7. So that was how I ended up doing that, and I still have Pinterest. And obviously I still have YouTube because I'm on it right now, but I have it on my phone again because apparently you can dismiss the YouTube Shorts tab, which is so great, and I love it because I do that. It only dismisses them for a month, and then they come back, but it doesn't even, like, try to give me YouTube Shorts anymore because I just said no, and it actually listened. So, um, so that's good. So I am at a point where I don't consume short form content anymore. I only consume long form content in YouTube videos, and even at that, I know there are some like short meme YouTube videos. I really try not to consume those as well. This is not going to be a good game. I'm not doing any damage to these guys. Um, like I try to consume as long form of content as I can. So like I like watching video essays and like documentaries, honestly. and just like anything. Like I try not to watch things that are less than 30 minutes long. Because also a thing about me is I don't watch shows. I don't have access to like I mean my family has streaming services, but they won't give me the passwords for them to use on my own personal devices. So if I do watch a show, I have to watch it like downstairs on the family TV. And I don't really like that, so I never do. And I'm aware I could just go on like 1, 2, 3 movies and whatever and watch things, and sometimes I do, but most of the time I say it's just not worth the effort. So I don't really like watch shows and movies and stuff like that, and that has its own repercussions of like not really understanding a lot of references to shows and movies. Like I mean, I was just talking to my cousins the other day about they were talking to me about Jumanji, and I was like, okay, I've heard that. I've heard of that. I know it's like they get trapped in a video game and whatever. And I was talking about it, like I knew what they were talking about enough. Um, so I was talking to them about it. And then halfway through, they were like, "Have you even seen Jumanji? Because like that's not really how it like went." Um, and I was like, "No, I haven't." Like we were just kind of talking about it, or we were thinking of making like a spin-off cousin movie on it, which is going to get posted here, so that's like kind of relevant. But that's going to be our Cape Cod movie for this year. Is like cousins get sucked into a video game and trapped in there. We were talking about it. We were talking about making it a Jumanji ripoff. Um, and we were just talking about like certain attributes of it. Um, and it was just like I was trying to talk about it, and I was trying to like be relevant and talk about it, but apparently I just came off as not really knowing what I was talking about because I've never actually seen the movie. I know the premise, like I know generally what it is, but I've never actually watched it. And that's the case with a lot of shows and movies. Is it's like okay, I know like vaguely what it's about, but I haven't actually like personally seen it, so I don't know the specifics of it. Or like I've heard someone talk about it, but I didn't watch it. You know. So that's also part of it. Is I determined that I wanted to keep YouTube because that's like watching shows and stuff for me. Um, like at a certain point, you just sort of run out of things to do. But so, but like importantly, so I want to talk about my experience in deleting social media, and that is that I deleted social media, but I still kept certain things for me to kill time because I really didn't feel that much better. So like I deleted social media, and like yeah, I felt oof, it's dead. Um, I felt a bit better that like I wasn't wasting so much of my time just sitting there like scrolling through videos where I just didn't even remember what the video like I would scroll on TikTok for an hour, and then if you asked me after I got off my phone, "Hey, can you describe like 3 videos that you watched in the span of that hour?" I don't think I would have been able to. You know, like it was very like in one ear out the other, purely killing time. Yeah, that was a horrible match. Oh well. Um so I didn't like that, and I felt like at least if I am watching like video essays on YouTube, I can talk about that stuff. Like, and I do talk about that stuff. A lot of the time I watch a YouTube video and I'm like, wow, I just want to like talk about that with someone because that's really interesting. So I actually probably will do that on here, is just sort of like talk about things that I consume on the like I don't know, things from video essays that I've watched that I like. Oh, yes, that's good. Okay. Um, actually, no, I still want. Uh, I don't like that it resets these every time I get like a new good one. Because I'm happy with this, but I like these three better. These are feel more relevant to like what I actually do. Because no one really cares that I take down wards. But I'm happy I got another master rank. Anyway, so um I don't know. I feel better spending an hour watching one video essay because then I feel like I actually know more about a topic than like spending an hour watching 61-minute videos, because then it's just a whole lot of nothing. So I do want to say, like, I feel better consuming the things that I'm consuming now, but like, if I am being 100% honest, my mental health doesn't feel that much different. I expected it to. I really did. Um, like, I have heard so many stories of people saying just delete social media, you'll be so much happier without it. It's like not that different. Like, not to say that it was a bad decision to delete social media. Like, I've had it deleted for a year and I don't plan on like, okay, Instagram I do re-download every once in a while because there are, again, some things that only happen on Instagram. I have like friends tell me when like something important is happening on Instagram and I need to like re-download it, do something real quick, and then delete it again. Um but like I haven't had TikTok in a year and that's not coming back. I heard it might be getting banned. Not I hope it does, but like I don't think it's good for anyone. So, like, if it did get banned, I don't think it would. I think it would probably be a net positive. Um, but I don't know. But like, I haven't had social media in a year, and I don't really feel all that different, or at least I didn't feel all that different until the past couple of months when I started actually like doing more physical things. So, I think in order to get something out of deleting social media, your mindset kind of has to change. So like if you're still in an I want to consume social media mindset, you're going to get just like marginal improvement, um because it's just purely the switching from short form content to long form content, which also is so rough of a switch. Like I had to work my way up to video essays. I couldn't go straight from TikToks to video essays. Like I definitely went from like, okay, let's watch a 5-minute video to like, let's watch a 10-minute video, maybe a 15-minute video, 20. And then we got to like 30-minute videos, but it was definitely like a build up my tolerance to videos being longer than 1 minute type of thing. You're not going to go straight from consuming TikToks, Instagram Reels, whatever, all of the time to 2 hour long video essays. Um, but I don't like, again, do I feel better after consuming the media that I do? Yes. But do I feel like just entirely overall better mentally? Not necessarily. Like, again, it's not as much of a difference as I always thought it would be. So, and maybe, so again, I never really posted on the short form content things and, like, was super desperate for likes and followers. I never really, like, I don't know. I feel like body image issues is just a big one for Instagram specifically. Never really like had that type of comparison because I only used Instagram for like meme accounts and like talking to people that I know in real life, talk to in real life. So um it's not, maybe it was because I didn't have those specific aspects, that I didn't have as much of just like a general mental health like boost. But it wasn't like that. It's not really that different at first, or like until you change your mindset again. It's like if you're still in an I want to consume media mindset and the media just goes from short form to long form, it's not that different. When it starts to get different is when you start, um, like I I'm inclined to call it like existing in space. Because my thing with like, okay, if I'm watching TikTok, right? I just have my phone right in front of my face and I'm not aware of my surroundings or anything happening around me. I'm just sort of like in my bed. The only thing that exists is the TikTok video. I'm essentially like desensitized to everything else around me. Your mental health starts to improve when you don't do that. So if you go from doing that with TikTok to doing that with YouTube, or like even if I'm watching long form content, it's not short form content anymore, it's not quick dopamine hits, it's not like, it's still like, I don't know what she's saying, but yeah. Um, but like, even if you're, like, if you go from, okay, whatever, just changing the content that you're consuming doesn't fix anything. Like, just getting rid of short form content without changing anything else doesn't fix anything if you're still just staring at your phone. What do you want from me, dude? I'm your support. Okay. Um. Okay. Um. But the change comes, like the mental health change comes when then you say, okay, like what can I do instead? So I started watching YouTube on, like, my parents can, you can't see it, it's not in frame. Um, my family upgraded our TV because we've had the same TV since 2007. It still works fine, but we were gonna have a bunch of family over to like watch whatever sports ball game, and my dad was like, "I think we should like get a new TV if we're gonna have a family gathering to watch TV." Because having everyone over to watch a TV from 2007 in 2024 is like not, I don't know, feeling an upgrade. So they upgraded the TV even though nothing was wrong with it. And then my dad was just like, "Hey, do you want this old TV because it still works?" And I was like, "Of course I want the old TVs because it still works." So I have a TV from 2007 in my room now. Um, and I started like I just actually just like got an HDMI cord from my computer and ran it from my computer to the TV so that I could watch things on a bigger screen, because when the screen's a little bit further away, you exist in space more. And that was when like it started to feel different. When I'm actually existing in space and like the video that I'm watching is actually playing out loud and you can like hear it in my entire room, not just when it's in front of my face, and when the thing that I'm consuming is like, it's a longer video that like takes more to get through, and like you actually have to like think to understand it and whatnot. um that's when you start feeling different. It's not like, if I was just watching, honestly, if I was just watching TikTok on my TV, I think I would have felt the same benefits. It's just a matter of existing in space, for me at least. That was what the big difference was learning to exist in space and like make noise instead of just staring at a small screen and that's it. So, I don't know. And I mean, there were like, I ended up picking up hobbies. Oh man, dude. Okay. Um, I did end up picking up hobbies as a result. I don't even know if as a result of not being on social media anymore. I guess it was out of boredom. So like, indirectly, yeah. Um, but like I know how to play the guitar now. I just sort of decided one day. Well, I mean, I feel like it might have happened anyway. I started playing guitar specifically because I was talking to a friend once that is in like the school band but doesn't really listen to a lot of music. And we were like, well, this is kind of funny because I listen to a lot of music, but I don't know how to play any instruments. Um, and he just doesn't really listen to that much music or like that wide of a variety of music, but he is in the school band and really enjoys it. Um, and that specific conversation made me be like, you know what? I own a guitar. I should learn how to play music. There is nothing stopping me from playing music. I can just start learning how to play the guitar. It was specifically because we were saying that, and he said the phrase, or just like the sentence, um, for someone that likes music as much as you do, it's really interesting that you don't know how to play any instruments. That's um, I don't know. I guess sort of mid. This guy doesn't want me here. Um, I don't really understand what. Okay, I'm supposed to be down there. That's like my role is to help down there. But oh well. Um. Anyways, um. So I picked. I'm not sure if I would have. Um. I'm not sure if I would have picked it up regardless because it is something like I own a guitar because I asked my parents to get me a guitar like 2 years ago. Um. Because I wanted to learn how to play the guitar in theory, but never actually had the motivation to like start. Just because, like with anything, there's a learning curve, and that's really annoying because then I'm not good at it right away. And if I'm not good at it right away, I get discouraged really quickly. Um, but I don't know. So I feel like I probably wouldn't have picked it up if I hadn't deleted social media. Like I don't think it was directly as a result of it. I think it was more indirect. Like this circumstance would have caused me to want to play the guitar more, like it did. Um, but I don't think it would have pushed me over the edge to actually learn if I was still like just spending my days consuming media and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Is like I think the fact that I didn't have social media and that statement was made um, is what made me actually do it. And if that statement was made without me ever having stopped using social media, I wouldn't have. It's a clunky way of saying it, but like I think you get what I mean. Um, but I started playing guitar. I started getting more interested in like topics of video essays. Um, I started playing games more, which are more like mentally engaging than just sitting and watching something. Um, so it's like again, I want to say it's net good. It's just not as like it's not as big of a difference as I always thought it would be. Um, so I don't know. Um, so again, I suggest to everyone that you delete social media. It's not good for you. Um, but even though this is a bit discouraging to say, like it's not gonna be the biggest change in the world. It's not gonna be like night and day after deleting it. You're just gonna be bored. Um, and then that may possibly cause you to like pick up new things to do. Um, or it might just not, because it didn't for me for a while. It took a really long time, honestly, to actually start seeing like benefits. Like to have it manifest in like actually doing things. I guess you know what I'm trying to say is like I didn't delete social media and then the next day immediately decide I wanted to play the guitar. It took like months to get to that point. Um, there weren't any direct like okay I deleted it and now I'm going to immediately start acting different because you have to change your mindset. I kind of assumed that the mindset change would come automatically, but it doesn't. You need to actually say I want to exist in space. I want something more than just being on a screen all the time. I want something different, so I'm going to do something different. But you have to make that statement and actually decide that for yourself. Um, oh well, this is another not good game. I don't. I had such a good game. Like the game before playing this, I had an S game. I got 1 death, 11 kills. I made the guys surrender because I soloed one of those polar bears. Um, I can't do that in this game. Oh well, it's fine. Um, but I don't know. Just like you need to change your mindset, and that doesn't come automatically. It's something that takes a while to build up and change. Um, and it's very rewarding when it does happen because now I know how to play the guitar. Um, like another thing that happened was like I started like I've always wanted to get into the more physical side of like computers, like actually taking it apart, seeing how it works. Um, and there was something that I like vaguely started doing. My family had an old computer that my dad just said I could tear apart if I wanted to. But again, it's something that like I had and I had access to, but I just sort of never actually went and did because I never felt like it. You know, like I have access to these things, but like I never actually decided to go out and do it. You know, so like I get like I have a computer that I can work on if I want to, I guess. But I don't actually feel like it because that means I have to get up and that means I have to like, think and do things. Um and not to say that you have to inherit a family computer. After doing that, I actually bought an old computer from Goodwill for $10. So this isn't like an inaccessible thing if you want to get into that. It was like this computer is missing its hard drive, but I was able to get an extra one of those. And the actual base computer itself was $10. Oh, I'm gonna be dead. Oh well. Um. So just it's been something that I've wanted to get into for a long time, but I never actually had the motivation to do it. You know what I'm saying? Is like it's it gives that little extra push for you to do the things that you've been meaning to do but haven't felt like it. But not to say that that's immediate and you start doing all of them right away. You know? I assumed it would be as soon as I delete social media, I'm going to be so bored out of my mind all of the time that I'm just going to start doing all of these things that I've been putting off. But that's not really how it works because you can't really delete all like forms of stimulation because that's not how it works. I can't just delete YouTube because I need it to know how to do my math homework, you know? Um like I can't just stop having a TV. I can't just like I don't really watch TV, but that's like oh yeesh. I don't I was gonna hit surrender, but what? Okay. Um you can't like you can't cut out all just like meaningless stimulation. I'm not going to like blow up my computer and stop playing all games that are just like ways to kill time and stop watching YouTube and delete Pinterest. Like, it's not. I don't think you can ever really realistically get to that point, but deleting the social media that's very addictive is a good first step. Um, um, because it gives you just a little bit more motivation. It makes it a bit more likely that you'll actually get around to doing these things. Um, and like, that's better than nothing. Like, again, this is why I keep saying, like, it was a little bit underwhelming, to like, I thought it was going to be this huge change and like monumental that I've deleted this social media. And it's really not, because it's only vague changes, and there still has been a lot of positive change in my habits and just generally in like my life in the last year. And I'm happy that I did it, and I'm never going to go back. Um but like, you can't realistically completely cut it out. Even deleting Instagram is like was a big one for me, because there's a lot of things that I miss out on. Like, today was one of my last days of school. It's May 30th. Yeah. 29th or 30th? It's 30th. Um and apparently there was a senior prank going on that I just didn't know about. People rode their bikes to school. I actually enjoyed it. I thought that was a good senior prank, because my school's like really cracks down on senior pranks. Like, you can just get expelled in May or June if you do something crazy like damaging the school. So, in order to sort of do a senior prank without causing any destruction or like, you know, um risking getting in trouble, um the senior prank was just ride your bike to school and then ride it around the parking lot in the morning. I thought it was cute, honestly. I really liked it, but I had no idea that was going on. Was that something I would have participated in? I don't know. I don't really have the means of getting a bike to school, and I don't live close enough to school to bike all the way from home to school. So it's probably not something that would have like realistically worked out, but I had no idea that it was going on, because it was something that people talked about. Like, I think there was like probably an Instagram or something about it, because everyone was like in on it and I wasn't, because I am very out of the loop, because a lot of social things just happen digitally and I'm not online. So I don't know. It is tough, like a lot, because there are a lot of things I miss out on because I just didn't know, because it was posted on an Instagram account that everyone knows about, but I don't have Instagram, and that's something completely by my own choice. But I don't have Instagram, so I'm not gonna see it, you know? So, I don't know. There are some times where it just kind of, I don't know. There are some times where it's really annoying. Um, and I wish everything wasn't so focused on being online. Like, I wish you could just get off of social media without any repercussions in like your daily life. Like, I have to keep up with school happenings because I go to, like, there are some things that I need to know for school, and I wish I didn't need to have social media for that, but there are some things you need to have social media for. Like, I remember there was specifically like a couple of things that my mom had to tell me about, because the school wouldn't tell me it. They just posted it on Facebook, like when certain things were happening and things like that. Um, they just posted on Facebook without actually putting out a formal announcement. So the only way that you would know when something was happening um, would be if you had Facebook and kept up with that. So I don't know. I don't like how social media centric things are becoming because I don't like when it's necessary to have social media because I think it would be in the best interest of most people to quit social media, you know? Um, but oh well, you know? Um, the I don't know what this guy is doing. Like, I. Weird match. Um, I don't know. But again, like, I think that my mental health overall has improved. Um, but it's not like a catch all. The entire problem is my phone, and without my phone, I'm fixed, you know? Um, I don't know. And again, part of it is because you can't get rid of everything. Part of it is, I don't, there's a lot of like pieces to it. It's a really complex puzzle, and I feel like people say just like get off of social media like it's not. Like, I've watched so many videos that are like just get off social media. That's the whole problem is that you're on your phone all the time. Exist in the real world, and it'll make you happier. And that's true, but you can't just say that and act like that's the easiest thing to do. Because like, there's reasons that people don't just put down their phone and exist in the real world all of the time. I'm sure most people would like to, but like, it's really hard to do. And also, again, just being honest, it's not a catch all and it doesn't make everything better right away. It just makes you a little bit more likely to do those things that you've been meaning to do. So, I don't know. I, um, what else was I gonna say? And also, I thought that, getting off of, also, okay, also something important is I still manage to have like secondhand brain rot from like all of my friends still being like chronically online. And I'm like, even though I'm not online anymore, I pick up the mannerism. Like, I use the stupid Gen Alpha slang in my day to day life with my friends. Um, Even though I'm not on social media, like, I can infer what things mean, and I'll still make the stupid jokes about it. Whatever. Like, it. I'm a little bit out of the loop, and sometimes I need things explained, but also, like, genuinely, it's not as hard as you think it is to, like, figure out what's going on online without actually being online. Because I don't think I'm particularly, like, crazy at inferring things like that. I think it's just, like, I don't know. My friends say certain words, and I get that they're funny. I don't always get why they're funny, but I get the fact that they're funny, and then the fact that, um, and then I just repeat it because I don't know. I repeat things my friends say when they're funny. Um, but you know, as a all right, um, oh well, probably could have made it out of there, but I didn't. I was dumb. Um, but you know, I still keep up with the slang terms pretty well. Like, I haven't been on the internet since before the whole like looks maxing thing. I was never on the internet, or on, I say on the internet as a catch-all for like social media because like I'm not on YouTube looking up looks maxing videos, you know? But like, I was never on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. It was never given to me on my YouTube feed. It was never on Pinterest. I never consumed anything relating to looks maxing videos because by that point I was already off the internet and like just not consuming that stuff. Um, but I still understand what it means. I still know what mewing is. I had to have someone explain it to me, or like, you know, I heard people use. I don't think that was something that needed to be explicitly explained. I think that was like, oh, that was a good stun. Um, I think that was like, I heard people using the term and doing the face, and I was like, okay, that's the term for that, I guess. Um, I don't know, but that like that's how long I've been off the internet. If that's, I mean, I guess that's only going to be a relevant like time marker for a little bit. Like it has been months though. It's been a year. I don't know exactly when the I wish I knew exactly when like the 1 year off social media was, cuz I think that would have been, I don't know, like just to reflect on the past year, but I don't know exactly when it was. I know it's been a year by now, or I'm very, very close to it, but I don't know. I don't know exactly when it was. But, um, I don't know, but I picked up what those words meant, even though I wasn't on the internet to, like, actually understand what they meant. Um, I picked up Ohio Yacht Skibbity Toilet, you know? Um, I haven't been on the internet for Yacht or Skibbity Toilet. Uh, I don't, well, I mean, Skibbity Toilet doesn't really have a meaning. Um, but like, I know what Yacht means. I think it's dumb and I don't use it, but I know what it means. Because again, it's not really, like, there is, I didn't even realize that was an enemy. Oof. Um, like, there is a little bit of a social separation, but it's not as bad as you think it is, honestly. Like, if the reason that you're not getting off of, um, social media is because you feel like it'll enhance, like, not fitting into social situations, don't worry about that because it actually doesn't make a difference at all. I still talk like I'm chronically online, even though I haven't been on the internet in a year. Like, I have a couple, like, I don't know. I call it secondhand brain rot because I think it's funny. Um, but I don't know. Like, it, you still pick up the social terms, assuming that you still, like, talk to people that are on the internet. Um, but, like, I don't know. I like not I like not being in the loop when it comes to like very brain rotted things like that because it honestly just kind of makes me feel better about myself that I don't understand it. Like this is brain rot. This is horrible. I don't like understanding these things. These are stupid. Who cares? Like I'm happy when there's a new term that emerges and I don't understand it. Although there aren't really very many of those because when a lot of people use it, you pick up what what the meaning is. It's just like slang words, you know. Um, but I don't know. And so yeah, so that was something interesting that I wanted to just like sort of mention is like you don't become completely socially isolated. Oh, yeesh. Okay. Um, although if you never have social media in the first place, I do find that you tend to be socially isolated, which sucks. Like I wish it wasn't like that because that's awful. But I do see like you can tell what people have never been allowed to have social media in their entire lives because like you can just tell that socially something's a little bit off. And because I had social media for a long time and I still like retain the understanding of how social media works and what types of things are funny. Like, I understand how these kind of things work. Can we please just surrender? This is not a good match. Oh well. You don't, like, lose the ability to be social. I don't, what are we doing? Okay. Which I kind of expected, and I kind of just, like, expected that that would be, you know, a repercussion of deleting social media. Um, and then it wasn't. Uh, and then I don't know. So I quit social media and it was good, but it didn't go exactly how I expected it would. Um, I don't know. Again, it's net good. I suggest that everyone quit social media. There really aren't very many downsides to it. There aren't really any downsides to it. Like, there's sometimes it's annoying with not understanding what people are saying, and sometimes it's annoying because you're kind of out of the loop. But I mean, for the most part, it's really, like, not. It doesn't change as much as you think it is, as much as you think it does. Like, it really doesn't. It's just kind of. I, it's not that different. It's not like I feel different than everyone else. It's not like I feel better than everyone else, honestly. Um, and it's not like I've changed all that much about myself. Although the one good trait that I have picked up is like, after school, I'll intentionally just sort of, like, drive around and do things rather than going straight home. When previously I would just say, I'm tired after school. I'm going to go home and rot in bed and just, like, doom scroll and sleep. If I'm completely exhausted, yeah, sometimes I do that, but I do really try to, like, not just go straight home after school. I try to do something, whether it's, like, hanging out with people and talking to people, or just, like, going somewhere. Even, like, something that I do a lot is, like, I just sort of go to a lake and sit there. Because there's one, like, kind of not that far, like, out of the way from my drive home from school. So I just sort of sit there, just sort of hang out. Um, just to not go straight home, because I don't have the, like, I go straight home and go on social media anymore. It's kind of annoying when I go home. Like, I kind of need to, like, kill time now, rather than um it being a given that I can just hop on TikTok and like, it's not a given that I can just hop on TikTok and scroll and then the time will pass. It's okay, I can go on YouTube, but then I have to pick which video I want. I have to pick a video essay that I think is engaging. Maybe I'll play a game. Maybe I'll watch something on the TV, which again is usually YouTube because I don't have streaming services. Um, or I could take a nap, or I can play my guitar, or I can do something creative. Um, but, like, all of those require a little bit of extra effort, so it's not as enticing to just go home and rot anymore. Um, so I end up spending a lot more time out of the house, which is good. And that's, like, a really good habit that I picked up. But again, that didn't come right away. It's not something that I was immediately like, okay, I deleted social media, now I'm going to go outside. It's, okay, I don't have social media. I spend a couple of weeks with, just sort of being vaguely bored but not remembering until I get home that home is boring. Um, and then I um and then after a period of time I just sort of learn that I really don't want to just go straight home and rot. I want to do something else. I want to talk to people. I want to go places. I want to even just like buy something. Do something dumb. Do anything aside from just going home, because going home and rotting isn't enjoyable. So, you know, um and that's good. And that makes me feel better if I'm like sitting by a body of water and contemplating, or even just driving around and, you know, doing something dumb. Even just running an errand is more fun than just sitting at home and like, I don't know. Because sometimes I don't want to pick a YouTube video. Sometimes I would rather it just be fed to me. Um, but I'm not gonna go back to that. So I have to make do with what I have, in knowing that I have to pick a YouTube video when I get home. And so maybe I'll just click on something random and then take a nap. Maybe I'll my catch-all for like I just want something is an ASMR video, because those are like just kind of nothing. Like it's not brain rot, and it's not like, I don't know, it's definitely not overwhelming, it's not overstimulating. It's just kind of like nothing, but like it's pleasant. Um so you know, that's but like, I don't know. And again, a lot of the time I do try to watch like video essays. I do try to like engage. I also thought that as a result of watching more video essays, I would become more like coherent. That's not true. I feel like it should be. But I don't feel any like, I don't want to say like smarter, that's not the right word for it, but just like able to condense my thoughts more. I thought that that would happen. Um I thought that I would have more like mental clarity. I don't. Specifically, like the reason that, well, the reason I was filming in the first filming this like series, it's probably gonna be like 4 videos. Um, in the first place was that um my friends were out of the country on a school trip, and I wanted to talk to someone. Um, because I just had things to say and I wanted to talk about them, but I couldn't talk to any of my friends. So I started talking about this, but now I want to stick with it because I'm going to keep going until I become more coherent. Because I didn't become any more coherent when I started consuming long form content as opposed to short form content. And I wish it. I feel like I don't make sense when I talk. I need to fix that. And I don't really know how to fix that, because half the time when I talk to my friends, it's just brain rotted stuff. Why am I like reduced gold right now? I don't know. When I talk to my friends, it's just brain rot, so I can't really exercise it there. And then when um, I don't know. I just like I need to just like talk at a camera with a set, like I'm going to talk about, and also like if I talk to a friend, I get into tangents. Um, because a friend will mention something and I'll go, oh, that reminds me of, or like, I don't know, just sort of say, oh, and I forgot to tell you this, that, and the other thing. So it's not really that good for like a solid stream of consciousness type thing. Um, and I want this to be a more solid stream of consciousness, a more solid, like, I don't know, need to stop going in circles when I speak. I think that's just the way that I speak, and I don't know that that's. Ooh. Um, I don't know that that's gonna change, because that's just sort of the way that I've always spoken, but I don't know. I want to be able to condense my thoughts and like formula. Like, also, I found that it's like really hard for me to write an essay right now. I feel like that's probably a mental thing rather than like I have had social media deleted for a year. Um, in the span of that year, I also started using ChatGPT for my essays and putting in minimal effort in schoolwork because it's my senior year. So that definitely also has something to do with it. But I found that it's hard, harder than it's ever been for me to write essays. Um, and to like just sort of condense my thoughts into making a solid like outline of things to write and things to talk about. I didn't outline this. I feel like that's pretty obvious. But like I feel like I need to get better at I have something I want to say and I'm going to like I need to be able to like say something and explain it well, you know? Like say I want to talk about this and then I can talk about it for either a really long period of time like this. I'm just sort of saying I'm going to play 2 games and talk about this topic for 2 games, however long that takes. Um, or although this game is dragging on entirely too long, I need it to stop. This is not like my KDA sucks. Not even that I've like necessarily ran out of things to talk about. I guess I kind of have, but like this game is just unenjoyable to play right now. Because I don't know what's going on and my teammates suck. Um, but um, I need to get better at condensing my thoughts and just sort of like being able to say I'm going to talk about this topic for this much time. Um, and not like just go in circles about the same points for 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 2 seconds. Um, like, I don't know. I want to be able to. No. No, 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 no. Please. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Um, yeah. I want to be able to formulate my thoughts better because I've found that that's just an ability that's generally decreasing in myself, probably as a result of a lot of different factors, and I don't think related to the deleting social media at all because that doesn't make sense. Um, but uh, oh, okay. Um, so I don't know. So this is just like a little project for like I'm not gonna be home all summer, so I'm probably not gonna be doing this very much all summer. I'm not gonna be home for June. I'll be home for July and August, but I'm not gonna be home for all of June. So I'm just kind of starting to trying to crank out a few before I leave for my 3 consecutive um, outings that take up a whole month. And like and then I'm hoping that when I get home I've gotten used to the format by that point and then I'll continue doing it because I feel like it's good to just sort of try to talk about a topic for an extended period of time and make myself actively think as opposed to watching someone else make a well constructed video essay. I'm not going to do that. That's too much work. It's too much research that I don't have the energy to do. Um, but I don't know, just to yap about things that like I know enough about to talk about, but not like enough to form a well constructed video essay on and like actually educate people on a topic. It's more like I just want to talk about my opinions of things because those aren't going to be like disproved. If that makes sense. I mean, like there are opinions that can be disproved, but like I oof, ow. Um, I want to talk about my opinions of things because no one's gonna like. I don't, because I can just talk about them without needing to research them and like come up with like proof. I don't know. Like there are definitely like supporting things for opinions. Like I could come up with supporting evidence, but I don't want to. So I'm not gonna. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't want to frame this as something educational. It's just opinion based and me talking because I want to talk more than anything. Um. Yeah. Um. So just the point is to try to condense my thoughts and um just sort of get better at talking on a topic, get better at talking to a camera, which was kind of that was the point of the End of Earth series, and I was successful in that. I feel so much more comfortable talking to a camera now than I did at the beginning of that series. So I'm very happy I did that because I can do that now. I can talk to a camera. I can just sort of set it up and talk for an hour. Um, got to learn how to use OBS Studio that I didn't know how to use before, so that's cool. That's just like a skill to learn. Um, just like oh nice. Um, you know, oh my goodness, if this Teemo kills me again with just like I don't even I can't see them. Um, where was I keep getting distracted. This really isn't like I'll get better at it, I swear. Um, yeah, I'm much better at talking to a camera now than I was at the beginning of my End of Earth series, so I definitely feel like that one was successful, and I'm really happy I did that because now I can talk to a camera. Um, and now I can just like, did we win? Yay! I need to get off of this. I'm like going unconscious. I don't know what's. It's probably because it's like 11 p.m. I don't know what. I don't think Ziggs used the chat at all. I don't. Everyone was horrible that match. I still got an A. Okay. I had the best crowd control on my team. Okay. Um, I don't know. As a summary of the video, delete social media. It's not good for you. But also don't expect everything to change overnight because that's not how it works. Everything's very gradual and it's just about building habits and like pushing yourself in the right direction rather than a catch-all solution to everything. Um, and try to put a little space between yourself and the screen that you consume things on because just consuming things isn't necessarily bad, but if you're getting to a point where you're consuming something and you become unaware of like your senses in the real world because all that you are focused on is the screen directly in front of your face, that's bad. And that's going to be bad for your mental health because that's not how anyone was meant to live. So that's my rant about that. And I might revisit it because there's a lot that I have to say in the realm of in the just like I have had social media deleted for a year. There's a lot of things that I have to say about it. I think I knocked out most of them, but I'm sure there's things that I forgot that I'm going to wish I included as soon as I stop recording. So this might be a topic that I revisit just because it's been a year. A lot of things have happened. But generally, again, net good. Just not a catch-all perfect solution to everything. You know? Anyways, so that's the end of my video. Hoping I do more of these. See you guys in the next one that hopefully happens.